G'day all you mad gamers, I'm Mad Mikey, I come from the bloody land down under, and in today's Gaming News Opinion show, the show where we go around with all the news going around in this video game world that we live in, and I just give my 2 cents on the whole matter. So first off, we're going to look at a few of the rumoured games coming around at E3, because it's almost that time of year. God, it's like Christmas. Along for the Aussie viewers, I'm going to tell you the times in which you can actually stream them on your favourite console, YouTube, wherever it is that you want to see it. A little bit to do with Friday the 13th games and a few of its problems, along with new games coming out, Monster Hunter coming to the Switch, as well as the Final Fantasy VII remake. All that and with my opinions. And remember guys, it is just my opinion. Yeah. What's going on in the world today? People fighting, feuding, looting, it's okay. Let it go, let it flow, let the good times roll. Tell 'em, Mikey. It ain't nothing but gaming. Mad Mikey Gaming. How are we all going, guys? On this Tuesday's edition of the Gaming News Opinions, the show where, as I said, I just go about the gaming news and I tell you my opinions. And guys, don't forget, if you like today's show or any of my other shows, give us a thumbs up, because I like seeing those little thumbs come up for some strange reason. And if you aren't a subscriber, give us a subscribe, because I do this on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Into the first bit of news for today. It's been announced, well, the good guys over at pressstart.com.au have come out and they've done the job for us, and they've told us what times all you can expect to see all of the greatness that is going to be E3 in the coming weeks. So if you're on the Australian Eastern Standard Time, you can expect to see the EA conference on Sunday, June the 11th at 5 a.m, along with Microsoft following that at 7 o'clock in the morning. And the last one of the day is going to be at 2 p.m. in the afternoon, which is going to be Bethesda. Then moving over onto Tuesday, you're going to be looking at the PC show, which is at 3 a.m, which is really early, but still better than the last couple of years. Then followed by Ubisoft's at 6 a.m, Sony's at 11 a.m, and then the Nintendo, whatever crazy stuff they're doing, is going to be at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Now, unfortunately myself, I'm going camping that long weekend, because it's actually a long weekend here in Australia, and so I'm going to miss out on the first probably two, because we'll be coming out in the afternoon, so I'll have a lot of catching up to do on that day. The last few years, it's been sort of starting at around like 12 o'clock in the morning, so like 1 a.m, 2 a.m, and it's really annoying because I keep falling asleep during them. But with these, like, I don't know why or how or what's different or anything, but these times are going to be a lot better for us Australians, so we can get up early and watch them and not sort of turn into vampires over that period of time. But also in other E3 related news, I've just been doing a bit of sort of looking around the internet and just sort of seeing what a lot of the rumors going around there of games that may be shown. So some that you may have heard of more recently. So there's actually going to be Crackdown 3, Days Gone's probably going to be there, Destiny 2, hopefully the Final Fantasy VII remake, Kingdom's Heart 3, Knack 2, and a lot of the other ones, like a lot of the staples, you know, like your Assassin's Creed, the WWE, and a lot of the sports games are probably going to be there. But other games that I'm actually pretty excited about that might be there, and these are big fingers crossed, so cross your fingers, cross your toes, cross whatever you can. Cyberpunk 2077, which is going to be the new game by the devs over at CD Projekt Red, who make The Witcher. That game we haven't heard a lot about, so this year could be a really good time to actually hear about that. It could potentially be the God of War. They obviously teased that a bit last year, so maybe this year we'll get a release date. Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, which is a really wacky kind of looking game, so I'm hoping to see a bit more about that, considering it's going to be a sort of RPG style of game. Obviously, the big one that I'm looking forward to the most, and I really hope that it is there, and it is Shenmue 3. Now, I wasn't a big fan about how they actually announced this and how they did it. Like, they turned it into a whole Kickstarter. So if this Kickstarter failed, which let's face it, I don't think anybody expected it to fail, we wouldn't be getting this, and that would have really backfired. But Sony sort of came out afterwards and said that they were going to be backing this game. I really hope to see what they've been doing with it. There's obviously a few screenshots, if you do follow Shenmue on the internet, of sort of how they're going with everything. So that's probably the biggest one that I'm really hoping for. Plus, there might be a couple of surprises here and there with some games. But guys, I want to know what you're looking forward to and what you want to see at E3. Obviously, Project Scorpio is going to be a big presence there at the show. So hopefully the Microsoft conference isn't taken up entirely that, and we see a lot of games. Monster Hunter. So over the last couple of days, it was announced that Monster Hunter XX, or as we've actually been calling it in the Western, is Monster Hunter Generations, is reportedly, well, it is coming out on the Nintendo Switch. But it's only been announced in Japan for August 25th. So I think it's pretty safe to say that there is going to be a Western release. This is normally what happens with the Monster Hunter games. They announce that it's only coming out in Japan, or they only announce a Japan release date, and then they'll end up following it up. I do believe that they actually do that with all of them, whether it be when it comes out on 3DS. But I got the Monster Hunter 3 on the Nintendo Switch. That was not the Switch, sorry. On the Wii U. It seems so long ago. I actually bought that when it launched because I was actually really interested in it. I wanted to be able to sort of sit back and play that on my couch opposed to on the small 3DS screen. And to be honest, I didn't play it that much. But you do sort of find yourself playing it a lot more on the handheld. Are you guys going to be interested in another Monster Hunter game on a home console? Or are you just sort of happy plodding along with your 3DS version? But it is said that they are going to be actually being able to let you save over and transfer your saves over onto the big game. And in a little bit of terrible news, and I've been firsthand sort of getting part of this, the Friday the 13th game, which got released on Friday on PC and PlayStation 4, it did take an extra day or so for it to come over on Xbox. A lot of fans are complaining about being able to log in. I myself have been having those problems too. I did manage to get some gameplay in on Friday, which I did stream over on YouTube. Yeah, it was here. So you can go check that out on my page. But I've been trying to log in for the last couple of days, and it has been taking like 5 minutes, 6 minutes before I'm just giving up. Last night they did say that there was server maintenance. I don't think that was Australian time. I think that was either American time or whatever. But again, I still couldn't get in, so I had to go back and, just play other games like Overwatch and Injustice and Persona 5, which I'm thoroughly enjoying and trying to put a lot more time into. I said this probably about a month ago, when I sort of said to everybody, do as I say, not as I do, that I don't think that you should go out and buy Friday the 13th on day one, because A, they push it back, and B, there's always server issues with these online games when they come out. It does take a couple of weeks for them to get all of this sorted out. And with this being sort of a really small company, I expected this to possibly be worse. And you know what? It happened. So I'm really looking forward to them to fixing this, because I did have a lot of fun with it. I actually got told off because I was yelling and screaming so loud, because my setup is just basically in the living room, and the bedroom is pretty close to that. And Mrs. Mikeey was trying to get some sleep because she had work the next day. And also, Final Fantasy VII development has been shifted to an internal setup over at Square Enix. So I don't know what's going on with this. I mean, obviously, it got announced and they showed some gameplay. They've shown pictures and everything. But I think that they're falling behind on this. Whether that's they're spreading themselves too thin, I'm not 100% sure. But they've actually come out and confirmed that development was moving forward with an external cooperation. Square Enix has decided to shift to an internal setup, including mass production and quality, because we want control of everything, including quality and on a stable schedule. So if you guys aren't up to date with what's going on with Final Fantasy VII, basically they're making it an episodic game. How many episodes, we don't know yet. So hopefully there's a bit more clarity over at E3 this year. I really want this to be fantastic, because I never really got into the Final Fantasy games back on the PlayStation, especially Final Fantasy VII. They have sort of obviously since released it on the PlayStation 4, which I haven't got around to buying, just obviously knowing that the remake is coming out. But I really hope that we get some news and we get to start sort of actually playing this soon, because I'm really looking forward to it. Just a really crossover of old school meets sort of the Final Fantasy 13 style of gameplay, which I was a really big fan of. With this week, I'll just go through what's coming out. You're getting the final chapter of The Walking Dead Season 3, which is Episode 5. Yes, I only just bought the season pass because it was on sale over on the PSN network, almost half price. So I've been sucked in where I sort of pay full price for those games and don't get round to playing them until the very end. So I was quite fortunate to be able to get that cheap. And also at the end of the week, in terms of like big names, we've got the Tekken 7 coming out. I've actually pre-ordered the collector's edition, so I'm really looking forward to that. I hope it gets delivered because it's going to consume all my money, because it's like 300 Australian here. So I'll probably do an unboxing of that on Friday in lieu of shit I'll probably never play, because I don't really have that much shit not to play. But guys, that's it for today. Don't forget, write all your comments down below in what you're looking forward to coming at E3. Is it just going to be the Scorpio, or is there a few games that you really want to see? But guys, I will see you again on Thursday for the Thursday's edition of the Gaming News Opinions. Until then, guys, also let me know what you're playing and have a great couple of days playing games. Bye, guys.